Well, hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome. Welcome to the Live with Leslie show. And I am coming to you live from the mountains, the beautiful mountains of Salida, Colorado. And I'm really delighted to have you here with me today. We have a really great show in store for you today. And especially if you are a functional nutrition health professional in private practice and you're wanting to crack the code on how to build those really important long-term client retention strategies in your online practice, then you are definitely in the right place. So today we're going to be chatting with Gayatri from 23 Nutrition Therapy. And we'll be talking about the 3 critical strategies for a successful functional nutrition practice, allowing you to build long-term client retention and to make your practice more lab-based. And this is going to help you to create more structure. So we'll be digging into that topic today. So a lot of good content in store for you. Again, welcome if you're just joining us. Welcome to the Live with Leslie show. I'm Leslie Vitel, and I'm a practice growth expert and mentor specifically for health professionals in private practice. And I help my clients to attract more of their own right fit clients, sell more programs, and ultimately grow a profitable practice, integrating multiple streams of revenue into their business plan. So today, again, I'm really excited to welcome our guest, Gayatri from 23 Nutrition Therapy. So welcome.
Hi, Leslie. So excited to be here. Thank you so much.
So happy that you could join us today. So really excited about this particular topic. I know you and I had met. When did we meet? It was a while ago, right?
Yeah, it was before the pandemic. I think it was 2019, maybe
Yes.
18 or 19. I don't know. It's all a blur.
Yes. Did we meet at a conference? Was it at IHS maybe?
No, it was a farmer's market. You came, you were
Oh,
visiting
that's
me.
right. A
Yeah.
farmer's market. That's right. Okay, that's right. It's all coming back to me on the other coast in California. Oh my
Yes.
God, back in the days. Yeah, that's fun. I used to do, events and like meetups at farmers markets, which was so fun. I'm gonna have to revisit that idea because it really was fun. All right, I knew I met you in person, so thanks for reminding me and refreshing my memory on exactly where that was. So anyway, really happy to have you. Why don't we start by just tell us a little bit more, if you would, about your background and how you started your own practice, and then how that evolved into the work that you're doing today.
Yeah. Well, I always knew that I was meant for something a little bit different than, the kind of conventional average before the unconventional dietitian terms came out or functional medicine terms even came out. I took my first nutrition class in 2003 and I knew, okay, I'm going to have to play this game. I'm in for a ride. I'm going to get this dietitian credential. But I already knew then that I was meant for so much more than what a dietitian does. So as I became more and more mature, the field became more and more ready. And I feel like this is the best time to be practicing because the world has caught up to where I wanted to be. So I started my cash-based private practice, 23 Nutrition Therapy, right out of my grad school. I did all those trainings, the bachelor's in dietetics, then the master's in dietetics, and I started my practice in 2017, literally the week I was credentialed, and that was exciting because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, what do I charge? What do I do? My program focused on business entrepreneurship, and it allowed us to create a website, create some packages. And so I started off with those packages, just to get me started. And I quickly learned that I was charging too little.
Oh, what a shock, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, you can't base your prices off of what other people are doing. That was my big lesson. So I actually ended up going into the IFNA, the Integrative and Functional Nutrition Academy program, literally the summer before I even got my master's degree. So I got a little jump start. I got all these, tools and resources, and I was able to, get started right away with my very first client the week I got my credential. And since beginning this journey 6 years ago, I really just never stopped. I really just continued to build and grow and build momentum and, learn all the different additional continuing education trainings. I did, in addition to the IFNA credential, which did take me 2.5 years to complete. I did end up doing some culinary genomic medicine training, um, some food sensitivity certified leap therapy training. I did some gastrointestinal training. The SIBO Academy is amazing. Um, Shout out to SIBO Academy. But I also got this amazing opportunity to train with Dr. Dan Kalish of the Kalish Institute.
Mm.
And we will talk more about that because it was really pivotal for my practice. So my practice actually flattened out during the pandemic,
Mm.
like flattened out. Like I had a few clients, like a handful of clients in packages, and then the pandemic happened, and they were all kind of ending, and I had some clients coming in person, and it was almost like this suggested we're time to end, feeling
Okay.
happening. And I didn't know how to resell. It felt icky to me. I really didn't, I feel like we're not trained in talking about money. And I was
No.
still in my beginning years. And it felt very uncomfortable for me to have to resell at such an awkward time where everything felt like it was closing and ending. And some
Right.
people were losing some income. So I did have those conversations as well. But I was just like, I didn't know what to do. And basically, I lost all my clients. And then
Mm.
no new clients were coming in.
Hmm.
And, that's the, scare of any kind of crisis, right? Pandemic times or economic downturn,
Right.
like whatever you want to call it. That is the scare, is if no new clients are coming in. So, and I was watching those Google business analytics just nosedive. I was
Mhm.
so scared. I was like, what am I going to do? I
Yeah.
was just starting to get, things off the ground. I was just starting to get things rolling, and I completely got squashed. So, then that's when I made, decision to work with Dr. Dan Kalish. And literally months later, things started to turn around for me in a
Mhm.
much more sustainable way. I finally had structure. I finally had, you know, just proper guidance, and I was able to then, take a client along for a longer term ride, for a journey, because we're going we're going deeper level, and
Mhm.
that's what I wanted to do, and not stick around with the first few months are critical for the patient, but
Right.
also like you're just getting started with them, and it's really important to build this long term,
So
relationships.
what did he help you to do?
Well,
It sounds like he helped you to really integrate the whole, lab
yes,
strategy into
100%,
your practice.
100%. Yeah. So he helped with the strategy. So on, every client of mine, I'm looking from the same sort of system,
Mhm.
whether or not like the same method. I'm using his Kalish method, no matter who they are, no matter which type of symptoms they're coming from, no
Mhm.
matter which type of condition they have, the body systems are not changing. So
Right.
the body systems are the same. So if we look at it from that angle, we're really looking at how can they maximize their outcomes using labs and using a more comprehensive approach. So, looking and addressing the three main body systems, as he calls it, and then, what it really is the gut, the hormones, and the liver
Okay.
detoxification. And so we're looking at that angle, and really, identifying imbalances along the way for that client. So this three body system approach, or gut hormone detox approach, really helps with the brain fog, the fatigue, the anxiety, the sleep issues, or hormone imbalances. Some people come to me for cholesterol lipid disorders, or diabetes, they don't even know they have diabetes, blood sugar regulation issues, and lots of gastrointestinal issues. So
Okay.
IBS or unidentified, you know, GI symptoms that of what it actually is at the root cause. So we really look at the labs to really help identify what's happening at the root of all of these symptoms. Um,
So what I'm hearing is regardless of the patient or the client's, list of challenges or complaints, or said another way, regardless of their list of symptoms, you look at each client through this Kalish method lens, right?
100%,
Okay.
100%. So I'm gonna run a hormone test. I'm gonna run a stool test. I'm gonna run, comprehensive micronutrient test that allows us to
Okay.
look at liver detoxification pathways. It allows us to look at fatty acids, amino acids, fat soluble micronutrients,
Mhm.
minerals, neurotransmitters. So it gives us this heavy metals. Oh my gosh, how many at the root cause of their
Right.
issues are really like a toxicity issue that they didn't know that they had. I found very high toxic lead in some of my clients.
Okay.
So this really gives us the structure, and it gives us the root cause. So we're not just, kind of hanging out with the symptoms and the condition and trying to slap a, condition specific, medical nutrition therapy on them. Instead, we're really getting, like what's underneath all of this, and we're making it lab based. And that's important. So
Mhm.
we're not just throwing every supplement under the sun at them. We're making
Okay.
this really, tailored to what is really going on. So it's very individualized in that way too.
Okay. Interesting. Excuse me. So I think this is where we can maybe segue into those three strategies, right? Into helping our audience here actually successfully really build those long-term client retention strategies. Can you give us, kind of walk us through those three important areas?
Yes. So, number one is making your practice lab based because it really creates that structure, not the structure, but a long term plan.
Mhm.
Now that we have the information from these three labs, we have the structure and the template built for the next year at least. And that helps it because we know we're not going to get a client fixed in one
Right.
month. We're not going to get a client even 2, 3 months is like we're just getting started. In
Mhm.
fact, those first few months are really the time where they're just adapting to a lot of the lifestyle changes.
Okay.
Just getting like somewhat, some guidance and structure on that. And then now we have to go deeper into the therapeutic part. So it really does provide this structure long term. It sets the patient expectations right out the gate. And I think right
Okay.
there is important in the beginning because if you don't set that in the beginning, you're constantly going to be feeling like
Mm.
you don't know how to have that conversation, that icky feeling of having to talk about money, you know, the
Yeah.
feeling I used to have, where, if you do a 2-month package, 3-month package, and then you got to resell again 3 months later to another 3-month
Right.
package, then again to another 3-month package. And then they're thinking that their 3-month package is the same as the next 3-month package. So they're thinking, why do I want to do that when I've already done that?
Okay.
So we need to set some sort of expectation that there is
Mhm.
a long journey. There is a saying for every year that they've been struggling, it may take at least a month of,
Mm.
working on it for recovery. Now, that can be different depending on, how committed they are to the process.
Sure.
If they're still drinking, tons of alcohol while they're doing their, gut herbal program, we may
Well,
not.
they're trying to detox. Might slow it down a bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that it really is important to, set that expectation up at the beginning because
Yeah.
because you have to continue to talk about these things. You will have to continue to talk about money. It wasn't something that was taught to us, so we're just going to have to get comfortable with it.
Mhm.
But if we continue to set that expectation that we're not going to get better overnight, this is a process, this takes commitment, and I'm here to support you and handhold this process. But I
Mhm.
have a structure. I have structure for you. I have a system. And
Great.
people trust and want to know that you have that system. And as soon as you have that, then they're like, okay, I think I'm in good hands now. And they're willing to go on that long journey with you long term.
So do you lay out the whole path up front? How does
I
that
do.
work?
And upfront,
Okay.
what do you mean by upfront? So,
Well,
you know
like a new client, right? So let's say you get a new client and I don't know how long this journey takes, but it sounds like there's several phases, right?
yes. Oh,
So
yes.
do you
Very
lay out like all the different phases in that initial session, or do you just focus on what's next?
Oh, yeah. So in the initial session, yes, we do. We do lay out that, what, there's going to be this, we're in this certain first phase, we're going to be just, working on some of the lifestyle. You're going to be collecting your lab samples. It's going to
Okay.
take a while. So you have to lay that expectation up front that, in the first few months, we're really just collecting all the information and getting started on the lifestyle support.
Okay.
And and then, yeah, so when you say, lay out that plan, it's going to take a few months before we get there too. So,
Mhm.
but yes, once we get there, then, laying out the journey forward once we actually have the labs and integrating multiple information, multiple, biomarkers from different labs really helps us see the best path forward too. If we don't see, something major right off the bat and we're here working on a different lab for 6 months, we may not even know that the bigger issue is actually over here in this other lab. So when I see all of that information, I'm able to structure it, and put it together in a more cohesive way, in a way that will get them results faster. It'll provide the most, direct path towards their wellness, and that's what they
Okay.
want. So if they feel like they have that expertise, they're gonna, trust and go with that. So
Okay. So, and I assume you're including the labs, or do you have them pay for labs a la carte?
so I include my support.
Okay.
The lab, I do not interfere with the amount of money. The labs collect money. I just set it up for them,
Okay.
and they pay the lab directly.
Okay.
There's some regulations in California. You're not allowed to add. You're not allowed to collect money and overcharge for the labs.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. So that works well, and
Okay.
I explain all of the details, in that session, so they know what to expect of, because it's a lot. Honestly, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just recently, in the last, this week and last week, completed my own set of 3 labs again, and I did it in a very timely manner. And I was like, oh man, back to FedEx again, third time in like a week and
Right.
a half. It was a
Yeah,
lot.
it is. I did a whole bunch of labs recently as well. And yeah, it is time consuming just to get that part done, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do give my clients major props for being able to manage all of it, because
Good.
it
It's a
is a lot
lot.
to ask clients to do this. Okay, now do this. Okay, do
Yeah.
this. But they're
Yeah.
willing to do it when they feel like there is a method to this madness, and that there's,
And that you've got
really,
them. Yeah, you've got their back with a system,
yes,
right?
yes.
I love that. So good. All right, tell us a little bit about the next one. So, the first strategy to build long term client retention is really about creating, and you're really creating an expectation up front with the client, letting them know that it is going to take time. We're going to focus on 3 core body systems in our work together, and they're we're gonna knock out these labs step by step, right? And
Yeah,
that really helps to create that sense of structure, which leads to more trust, is what I'm hearing from the
100%. I
client.
think that's the most important, piece, is that trust.
I do too, for sure. And I fully support what we're talking about here. Your clients are looking to you to make a recommendation. And I know that is something that some of us are hesitant on. We're like, well, you could do this or this, you pick. In all honesty, well, I always say a confused mind will not decide. So if you're giving people a whole bunch of options to pick from, it'll probably fall apart, right? Just because it's just, it's confusing. And people look to you to have the structure. They look to you to say, what do you think I need based on our conversation, based on everything that we've discussed so far. So really, really critical to have that structure kind of planned out in advance, right? And there is always, a little bit of wiggle room for personalization and customization, of course, but we do want to have like kind of that a roadmap laid out up front. And it is so helpful for the client because then they've got their eye on the prize, which is to optimize their health, to overcome all these, difficult symptoms that they're grappling with. So really, really powerful. So what is step number 2?
So it's really important to use good content. So I have a program in my Practice Better program modules. I have the gut hormone detox program built out. And if you use a program like this for your content to guide your sessions, it's going to give you even more structure. I mean, go back to point number 1. So you can use a program as a standalone program, but they may not always follow through. So one thing that I like to do is use it as a resource library to help guide my sessions. So if you say, follow this link, you can literally share the link of the module. Follow this link.
Okay.
It's all about sleep. We're going to talk about sleep next time we have our session. Then we can spend our time not educating. I did in the beginning. I totally spent a lot of time educating because I didn't have the content. And
Right.
so if you separate that out, the repeatables, the things that you're finding yourself talking over and over and
Yes.
over.
Create a video, create a resource library, right? I
Yes,
love that.
yes. Or use mine. And it really supports all of these labs, the gut, the hormone, the detox connection.
Mhm.
So everything that is really the foundation for, getting someone started on that journey. And so I can, just share the link, and then we can spend our time in our session talking about what stood out to them, talking about what they would like to do now, because we all
Right.
know
Mm.
telling someone what to do is not as effective as them coming up with their own idea about,
Oh, yeah.
you suggested some things, what their next step is. So they can create their own SMART goals. And now you have time in your session, because that's one thing I was struggling with too, is that, if you educate, it means you don't have time to goal set.
Mhm.
And so it's almost like you have to have 2 different sessions. Well, the programs kind of take that place of the 2 sessions, and you can guide them because everyone's coming in at different places. Not everybody, needs to catch up on what protein, fats, and carbs are.
Mhm.
Some people come in already having worked with several, practitioners. They may have like a very dialed in diet. So we might skip over that section and just go right to some other, leaky gut sections, or go right to, some vagus nerve sections. So it's really helpful to be able to tailor the needs of that individual person by using this program. So use these program module content to really guide your sessions, and you can use it as a resource library.
I love that. Yep, super powerful. Yeah, because again, well, one of the things I hear regularly is, "Oh my god, Leslie, I'm so tired of repeating the same thing over and over." Right? And I think the strategy here is really going to, oh, I have a sneeze. I, allergies are killing me, guys. All right, went away, but it was going to be a doozy. Anyway, to have that resource library, I think it is very helpful. And guys, one little tip, like, and we'll talk about some options for you. It does sound like Gayatri has some options kind of in her back pocket that she wants to share with you. But if by chance you're going to create these resources on your own, I would just say you don't have to do it all at once. I would just say do a brainstorm. What are the things that you're just repeating all the time? All you have to do is jump on a Zoom video and push record, and voila, right? Essentially, you've got your first video for your resource library. So, not to be something that needs to be like a super time consuming project, just knock them out a little bit at a time. So that would be my recommendation there. Okay, so all right, lab-based practice is the first strategy. The second one is to create a resource library or use yours. What's the third?
The third is seek out mentorship. I really, again, back to what I was saying in the beginning, once I got proper mentorship, it really transformed things in a whole new way where I could then live off of the income of my private practice. I went
Right.
from zeroed out to then all of a sudden having an income. And that was important. So I also want to share my first love before the nutrition was Indian classical dance. So I was a dancer for 10
Mm,
years. I studied Indian classical dance. For 9 of those 10 years, I taught. And
okay.
because it was really important in that setting to pass on that knowledge that you learn. And so when you're learning from your teacher, like the foundation of the teacher guru system is that you're not only learning from your teacher, but you're learning the wisdom of your teacher's teacher.
Okay.
And for me,
Sure.
that is so important. And I saw that again when I, entered Dr. Dan Kalish's training, and he still talks endlessly about his mentors and shares the wisdom of his mentors. And
Mhm.
for this reason is why I believe mentorship is critical, because you're not just learning from that one person, you're learning from that person and their teacher and their teacher's teacher. And it's really there's a lot of truths to be able to pull from that. Um and I think that is super valuable and super important here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So seek out membership or mentorship. It is music to my ears because I always have a mentor in my back pocket of, at least one, right? So it's just, guys, it's just so hard to go it alone and try to figure out all the things on your own if you want to really expedite your results. And I always say time is money. Like you could be, kind of messing around in the background, trying to figure it out for a year, and then come out and be like, oh my God, I still don't really get it, or I still am not, where I want to be. Or the other path is jump in with a mentor, learn the shortcuts, get the strategies that are going to put you on the map, and really, like start helping people sooner, right? More people sooner, right? Making a bigger impact. So definitely support that strategy in a big way. So what are some new projects, or in terms of what you'll be launching in your practice as a next step? I think you're going to move into mentoring other practitioners, right? So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Great guess here. Yeah, so I do feel like I'm holding this knowledge that I need to share because I have been blessed to get this, and I feel like I can't just hold it in for myself. I need to be able to share, some of the techniques that I've accumulated along the way. And a lot of them are from this strategy of working with the gut hormone detox. So I am launching a functional clinic immersion mentorship right now.
Hmm.
So it's a 6-month mentorship for dietitians to help them get started in private practice. And this is for those who maybe had the IFNA or next level or another functional nutrition certification, but it doesn't have to be. So
Hmm.
yes, you're getting all of that functional nutrition education modules. I'm not providing videos in any sort of way. I'm actually sharing my health record with you. I am actually letting you use my note templates, set up your packages, use my gut hormone detox solution program. It's white labeled. You can now use all my slides, video, like you can set up your own so that you can have the same kind of structure. We will also have small group Q&A so that I can help you navigate all of this, because I know just giving you a dump of content is probably like, okay, now how do I use this? I
Right.
know I've experienced that many times. So, I
Mhm.
also, we can talk lab based if you want to talk protocols and, lab interpretations. I've gotten so much knowledge from my teachers. Now I feel like I need to pass this on. But also there's so many other details of like, how do you sell? How do you get comfortable selling? How do you bring that client on this journey? How do you talk about what the journey is? Use my language. So I have it all like laid out so that you don't have to spend that first 3 years like I did, fumbling around trying to get it off the ground. Um,
Great.
yeah. So lots of support, lots of
Mhm.
tools, um, live Q&A classes, and
So where do people go to learn more?
yeah, so you can follow this link here, this tiny URL / mentorship clarity call. It's right here in the chat. So book a mentorship clarity call. We can talk about it. We can do a run through of what the gut hormone detox solution program looks like. So I can show you, how cool it is. So I'm really excited. I feel like this is the mentorship that I wanted when I was starting my private practice.
Mhm.
And I still haven't seen anybody, giving this level of support of like, here's the fast track cheat sheets. Do it.
Awesome. All
Yeah.
right, guys. So you see the link on the screen, tinyurl.com/mentorship clarity call, and you can reach out and jump on a call and just explore if this is a good fit in terms of your next step. So I think that is a really great idea. Love everything that we talked about. And yeah, just based on everything that I know, I definitely think it's a good fit. Whether it's kind of your dipping your toe into functional nutrition, or if you already have quite a bit of training and you want to create a little bit more depth in terms of helping your clients and really, really being able to dig in on a deeper level to help them. So, again, tinyurl.com mentorship clarity call is the URL. And any final words of wisdom as we start to wrap up?
Yes. So think of this as the mentorship or dietetic rotation that you wished you had in functional nutrition. Because one key point too that I left off was that my mentees, the participants in this program, will get to listen to my consults, which is huge. So not only do you get to see everything, that I give you, but now you get to see it in action, how I'm
Okay.
doing it. Yeah, which I think is pretty unique. I don't think too many people are getting that. So
Very
it's,
cool. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. So there's the URL. I do want to remind you, you guys, if you're on my list, you got an email today about Supercharge Your Sales System. And this is a 6-week live group coaching program. And so check that out. There is still time to join us. And the URL there is superchargeyoursalessystem.com. And in this 6-week group coaching live program, we take a very deep dive into sales, all about sales. I guess with the exception, we do talk about client attraction in the first class, right? So how to actually invite people into a consultation, how to be a little bit more assertive rather than just kind of waiting, sitting behind our computers, right? Hoping that phone will ring or hoping we'll get email inquiries. So we do go into strategies on client attraction, how to really attract the right people into your world. And then modules 2 through 6 are all about that ever important sales conversation, right? So if that is intriguing to you, check it out, superchargeyoursalessystem.com. And of course, any questions about that, feel free to email me. All right, guys. All right. So lots of good stuff, all designed to help move you forward in your private practice. So really appreciate your time with me today. Super helpful. Love your program. And guys, definitely recommend checking it out. Again, tiny URL, mentorship clarity, or tinyurl.com/mentorship clarity call. And great. All right. So have a great rest of your day. And I hope you guys got a ton of value. I know I learned a lot today. And I will look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week. All right, everybody. Take care and bye for now.
Thanks so much.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.